Good morning, I'm Sharon with the Pickaway County Library and I'm here to bring to you your preschool story time. We're going to do unicorns. So we have a little song. Well, it's actually not a song, it's a little rhyme. So do it with me. It's unicorn, unicorn, touch your nose. Unicorn, unicorn, touch your toes. Unicorn, unicorn, pat your head. Unicorn, unicorn, go to bed. Unicorn, unicorn, wake up now. Unicorn, unicorn, take a bow. Unicorn, unicorn, touch the ground. Unicorn, unicorn, turn around. And unicorn, unicorn, sit back down. I took my stool away, so I'll pretend to sit. Our book today is going to be The Midnight Unicorn by Neil Reed. And our publisher is Sterling Publishing Company, Incorporated. Come join me. The Midnight Unicorn by Neil Reed. Millie heard the jangling of Casper's leash and put down the clay unicorn she was shaping. "Anywhere special you want to go today?" asked Dad. "The park!" Millie cried, her eyes shining with excitement. "Okay," said Dad, "but wouldn't you like to go somewhere else for a change? Aren't you tired of visiting that same stone statue?" Millie shook her head. She couldn't explain it, but the park, and especially that one statue, were the most important things in the world to her. The park was quiet except for the sound of dry leaves crunching under their feet as Millie led the way down the path. "Almost there! Almost there!" the quick rhythm of her feet seemed to say. One more bend in the path, and there it was, a small stone unicorn, mottled with age and weather, slightly mossy around its hooves. "We can't stay too long, Millie," said Dad. "I'll be right over there on the bench if you need me." Millie ran her fingers over the unicorn's closed eyes and gentle mouth. It had the kindest, wisest smile, and she always felt happy when she was nearby. "It's only been a week since I was here, but I've missed you so much," she whispered, stretching on tiptoe to be closer to the unicorn's ear. As Millie pressed her hands against the statue's graceful neck, she felt the stone shiver. Suddenly, the unicorn's hooves lifted off the ground, and he pranced beside her. "You're alive!" she gasped, feeling surprised but not afraid. The unicorn pressed his nose softly against Millie's cheek, and then bent his magnificent head so she could climb onto his back. The ground fell away beneath them as he sprang into the sky. Casper bounded after them, barking with joy as his paws left the pavement. Up and up they flew, high over the park and Millie's neighborhood. She kept her eyes shut tight against the rush of wind, and when she opened them, she was amazed to see a bright, full moon, a sky suddenly full of stars, and lights twinkling in all the houses below. The town clock struck midnight. As Millie and the unicorn flew over hills and forests and lakes, dark clouds gathered around them and thunder boomed. "Storm up ahead! We'll have to fly fast to beat it," Millie called out. The unicorn put his head down and charged through the angry clouds. Rain rushed into Millie's face. She could hear Casper whimpering as he galloped close behind them, trying to keep up. "Don't be afraid, Casper," she cried. "We've almost made it." As they blasted through the last bank of clouds, Millie cheered and patted the unicorn's strong neck. He swooped down lower over the tops of glistening moonlight mountains so she could run her fingers through the snow. "It's beautiful here," said Millie, "but could we find somewhere warmer now?" The unicorn whinnied softly, and in no time at all they were gliding through the warm desert night. Millie waved at the sleepy camels far below on the shimmering red sand dunes. "I've never seen the ocean," Millie told the unicorn. "Could we go there too?" The unicorn turned sharply, and soon they were gliding over a sparkling sea. Waves rolled and crashed along the beach, and when Millie looked closely, she could see that there were other unicorns prancing in the foam. The unicorns spiraled down, 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 right into the breakers. Millie laughed as they bucked through the salty spray, racing the others. Casper was panting and falling behind, so Millie gently pulled on the unicorn's mane. He climbed easily into the air and landed on a rainbow where Casper could rest. All alone in the dark sea below them was an island. It was lit by a shaft of golden daylight at the end of the rainbow, and Millie saw that a herd of unicorns waited on the beach. One by one, the unicorns welcomed Millie, nuzzling her neck with their velvety noses. When she had said hello to all of them, her unicorn led her to the rocky paths she could explore and crystal clear streams she could drink from. Butterflies and the scent of flowers filled the air. At last, exhausted by all their adventures, Millie, Casper, and the unicorn lay down on the soft grass. Butterfly wings fanned them into a deep, calm sleep. "Wake up, sweetheart. It's time to go home." Millie opened her eyes and looked up at her father. "Were you worried about me, Dad? I was gone all night. The unicorn took me to see the mountains and the desert and the ocean," and Dad gave her a hug. "You have a wonderful imagination, Millie." "But it was real," she started to say, and then stopped herself. She and Casper and the unicorn knew the truth, and that was all that mattered. "Ready to go now?" asked Dad. "Almost," said Millie. She stood beside the statue and kissed his smooth forehead. "Thank you, my midnight unicorn," she whispered. And as she turned to follow her father down the path, Millie was sure she heard the unicorn whinny a soft goodbye. For our craft today, you'll be able to find it loaded in the comment section of this story time. We have Build a Unicorn, which is from mrsmary.com, her website, and she has given us permission to post her templates. So I am grateful for you, Mrs. Mary. Thank you. So you'll have one that's in color and then one that's in black and white. If you want to do the black and white one, you just color it yourself, and then you can cut it out, and you also have the color one. So your little one will probably need a little help cutting these out. And if you'll look at the upper top on both the right and left sides, there's the full unicorn, so you can tell how to piece it together. So now I have my pieces of my unicorn right here, and I'm going to begin to assemble him. As you can see, I have it all put together except for the stars, and I'm going to put my stars right here. I've got two of them here. All I did was use a glue stick, and I turned it over and got the legs stuck on the back and the tail. Then you can turn him back over and get a little bit of glue underneath the face here and stick it on, and then tuck the mane under and glue that on, and then your stars. And you are all set. A beautiful unicorn. For our activity today, we're going to make some slime. So what I have is 8 ounces of just your regular Elmer's glue, and it's white. And then I have in my cup here, I have some baking soda, just plain baking soda. I have some red food coloring, because that's what I'm going to color mine with. I have some glitter. And then I also have some multi-purpose saline solution. And in my cup here, this is 8 ounces of glue, and then one teaspoon of baking soda. Then you're going to use a few drops of this, and then the saline solution is in here. And we'll start out by blending in 2 tablespoons. So let's get started. I am going to color mine. I want it to kind of be pink, so we'll see how that works. And you can go ahead and pour your glitter in too. All right, here we go. Mix, mix, mix. This is a fun activity, especially when the weather's getting nice and we need to do things outside. This is a fun thing to take outside because it can be a little bit messy in the house. All right, now we're ready to do our baking soda. Like I said, that was 1 teaspoon. And we'll go ahead and get that stirred in real good. Got a few little lumps there. All right, now I'm going to begin adding the saline solution. I'm going to start with 2 teaspoons. We can always add a little more if we need it. All right, this should cause it to start hardening and setting up. See, it's starting to set up. And if it's a little too slimy still, hard to imagine slime being slimy, then we can add a little more. I'm not so sure if we'll need a little bit more. It's looking pretty good. Boy, it's getting hard to stir. All right. So let's see if we can get this out with our hands and play with it. Well, I think we can. It might need to set up a little bit more, maybe a little bit more of the contact solution so it doesn't stick to me quite as bad. Let's do that. So that would be almost 3 spoons full. Yeah, that's working much better. Now I can move it and it won't stick to me. Okay, and then you'll want to knead it in your hand. Get that sticky stuff off my... Oh, isn't that just the neatest stuff? I love slime. So remember, this does have glue in it, so you want to keep it away from your carpeting and your furniture. It's a great thing to take outside and play with. And I made pink because I like pink, and unicorns are usually rainbow colors and have all that pink in them. This is fun stuff. Make sure you keep this away from your pets too. It wouldn't be a good idea if anybody ate this, whether it be a child or a pet. Well, thank you for joining me today on our unicorn story time with our slime and our beautiful unicorn print cutout. I hope you enjoyed this story time, and I will see you next week.